Good morning, my friends. Happy weekend. I hope you are set up for a wonderful weekend. We're going to do Margarete Miller Collage today, as per usual. Week 37 is the one I am working on today, and I've kind of prearranged my elements. I do have a story with this one as well. But the first thing I need to do is pop on some of this really pretty serviette napkin, you might call it, because that's going to be sort of in the background. It is one of the prompts. A decorative napkin is the second prompt on the list, so I'm just going to slide things off, and primarily I want the top and the bottom corners where you might have noticed there was some gaps. So let's just start with that, and I'm not sure what order I'm going to do the story in just yet. I will tell you a story though from my own life, or that of my husband, shall we say. The story today revolves around this bird, which is a New Zealand kea, a native bird, and it's an alpine parrot. And it's quite well known in New Zealand for being a bit of a mischief maker. And in our local city, in the closest city to me, there is a wildlife centre called Willowbank, and they've got a bird, I guess an aviary you'd call it, but it's here, it's big, so you can walk through it. And they've got a bunch of keas. And one time when we were visiting Willowbank, because we used to go there a lot just to photograph the animals, hubby and I, hubby held out his finger to a kea, and he says it was very gentle, as gentle as a kea is. Like, it didn't bite down really hard, but it bit his finger, like put its big beak. They've got very, very strong beaks, and it left big dents in his finger. It was so funny, and he kind of went, ouch. He says it didn't really hurt, but I think it must have perhaps been more the surprise of how firmly and how deeply the beak kind of dug into his finger. It was just really, it was quite funny. It was like, well, they've got really strong beaks and they like to bite things. What did you think was going to happen when you put your finger out to it? So, you're right up close to them, and you do have to watch when you're walking through their enclosure, because they can like peck at you, at your feet, at your shoes. If you're carrying a bag, they might try and steal it. Yeah, they're that type of bird. They are quite cheeky, quite mischievous, and actually quite destructive. There's been many a people regretted leaving their car unattended when there's a kea around. And there's a particular place in New Zealand where you often see keas, and where many cars have lost the rubber trim around the windows, or a windscreen wiper, sometimes even a side mirror, like a wing mirror. They can be that destructive. They can actually destroy your car, or bits of your car, not the whole car. But yes, very, very strong beaks, and their claws are also quite strong, but it's their beak. The beak you've really got to watch out for. Might just put that whole bit across there. It's a wee bit long, so we'll take a bit off. So yes, our story revolves around one of these cheeky, naughty little birds. They're not actually that little either. They're a decent size. Probably quite large compared to a lot of parrots. I'm thinking, like cage parrots that people might have as pets. Is stockier than a cockatoo. Cockatoo's quite large, but it's finer than the kea. And the kea is also stunning. Like, this is quite a dull picture. It's very vibrant. It's green and blue, and metallic and shimmery and beautiful. But when it spreads its wings, underneath its wings, it's got this absolutely stunning, vibrant, deep orange. Like really, look up a picture if you've never seen a Kia, and find one where its wings are outstretched so you can see under its wings. It is really a stunning bird. So it's got to have something going for it, doesn't it, when it's so naughty? Okay, so we have our decorative napkin in place. Okay, our next thing we need to pop down, I think, is our dictionary page, which is one of the prompts. And the bonus prompt today is a paperclip or brad. So I've got this paperclip here. And to kind of tie in the paperclip so it's not just randomly on a bit of paper, I have torn out this bit of notes from when my mum was at Bible College. And it ties into our story. But just to explain what it is and why I've added a random bit that's not actually in the prompts, because it's not the dictionary page and the paperclip art, but the notes I've added are not. And that's okay, you can add bits to these collages. It's not only this and that's it. You are free to add extra bits if you want. And sometimes I need to kind of fill out my story or make everything work together in a story. I need to sometimes add little bits. I don't actually very often add bits, but sometimes I do. Right, not putting a lot of glue down because it's not really going to come off. And if it does, I'll just glue it back down. So I'm going to glue that there. So that's our dictionary page. It's from an encyclopedic dictionary. Just, you didn't really need to know that. This I'm not going to glue down. I'm just going to leave it flapping because it's attached with the paper clip. An interesting building is one of the prompts. So we have this picture of a windmill, which was sent to me. It's from a little travel touristy type brochure that my beautiful friend Laurel sent me from Michigan. Apparently there's a Holland in Michigan. This I never knew, but now I do. So it's a place called Holland in Michigan, United States. And when I was looking for an interesting building, I remembered that she'd sent me some travel. She, meaning Laurel, had sent me some fun travel bits and pieces from her recent trip away. So I thought there's probably something in there. And yes, perfect. I would say this is an interesting building for sure. So pop that down there. And it was also the right shape for the area I wanted to fill, so that was even like more perfect. So interesting building done, dictionary page done, decorative napkin, paperclip, train, plane or automobile. So I have this train here. Now it's not one of our trains here in New Zealand, but our passenger trains are blue, so I thought that's fine. Our passenger trains are not steam trains, but I just really liked this detail. So I thought, well, I'm just going to leave it in because it's fun. It's just fun. So I'm going to pop my prompts down first. I do need to leave a little space at the top because I'm going to tuck in our bird friend kind of partly underneath, partly over top. So I'll leave a little opening there. So we'll just pop that right about there. Now we can put the train on. This is out of a children's fact book, this picture. It's another one of those books that I get pictures out of quite regularly. And I picked up a different version of it recently, a smaller version. So this one here is out of 1,000 facts. And then I picked up one that's 500 facts. and it's got different pictures. So that was fun. Do like these types of illustrations. All right, getting glue all over myself here. That will do nicely, so we can still see those beautiful flowers underneath the windmill. So that's our train, plane or automobile. So we've gone with train. And now let's glue down our cheeky bird, who has the nickname of the librarian. Yep, he's a well-known Kia in his environment, which is a place called Arthur's Pass. Now, Arthur's Pass is a place here in New Zealand. A pass, you know, the area that you go over mountains or through mountains. So the Southern Alps here in the South Island, we have a couple of passes to get from one side of the island to the other. Arthur's Pass is one of them, and there's an Arthur's Pass village where there's a train station. And so this naughty Kia likes to hang out around the train station. You know, train station, yep. And he takes advantage of visitors, of tourists, and even locals who unwittingly leave their bits and pieces unguarded. Now, do I want to overtop? Yes, I do want to overtop of that, so it's actually going to hold down that paper as well. So I'm going to pop you there, Mr. Kia, the librarian. But it's not just anything that he takes. Like, his friends will go for the tyres on a vehicle, the windshield wipers, the mirrors, you know, all that sort of stuff. But the librarian, can you guess what he likes to steal? He likes to steal paper things. Paper things. So one day on this is just one day of his thievery. The train pulled into the station, and the librarian was just strutting his stuff. They do fly, but they also like to just strut along the ground. He was strutting out, casing the passengers as they got off for their break, before the train went to the other side of the island. And there was one girl on a study break. She's just having a wee trip away, but she still needs to study because she's got exams coming up. And she had her dictionary, and she had her notes. And she went to grab herself a bite to eat and thought, it won't matter. Nobody will steal my dictionary. You know, they won't touch that. That'll be safe. I'll just leave it there, duck in, get myself something to eat and come back out. While she was in the cafe grabbing a bite to eat, naughty librarian bird went and stole a page of her dictionary and some of her notes as well. Isn't he naughty? What a naughty birdie. But that's not all he did. There was some travellers there, and they're travelling around New Zealand at the moment, but they are thinking of perhaps heading to the States. So they had some travel brochures, trying to plan their journey, and they were having a cup of coffee at the cafe outside. You know, it was a beautiful day in the past, and so they were just outside and had some brochures sitting around, and one of them fell onto the ground, and they didn't notice. You guessed it. Yeah, naughty librarian Kia went and tore a bit out of their brochure. So they don't know about this windmill anymore because it's gone. They haven't got that page anymore. And then at another table, there was a family, and they were having a little picnic. They hadn't bought anything at the cafe. They'd packed their own sandwiches and drinks and fruit. And they were having a little picnic at one of the tables, and they were using some napkins. And, you know, one got caught by the wind and fluttered away. And, well, that's just fair game, I'm afraid, for a Kia that loves paper. And he tore up this napkin. So that's why we've got a couple of bits, because he tore it up. He doesn't care. He just likes paper. And so he had two bits of pretty napkin to take back to wherever he puts his stash of paper. Obviously, he's an outside bird, so the paper gets wet, it rots, it blows away in the wind. So he doesn't have a huge mess because the weather takes care of it. So he has to keep stealing more bits of paper. So there's the story of our little friend, the librarian, native New Zealand Kia, who's just a little bit destructive, a little bit naughty, but a whole lot of cute and pretty. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you enjoyed my little personal tale of hubby's experiences up close with a Kia. So a lot of this, of course, is fiction, but there are certain things that are fact, like Kias are well known for their destructive behaviour and for the cheekiness. Arthur's Pass is a real place here in New Zealand, and it's the alpine village in the pass that goes between the east and the west coast over the Southern Alps. And our passenger trains are blue, but not shaped like this and not steam. So there is fact in mixed with the fiction. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope your weekend is absolutely fabulous. Make it a good one and make it whatever you want it to be, whether it's full on of fun things or whether it's really laid back and relaxed. But hopefully there's some craft in there either way. And I will see you again on Monday. Catch you then. Bye.